Hello EGR 180 students, this is the SOLIDWORKS demo that goes along with the Unit 1 presentation. To get into SOLIDWORKS, the easiest way is to go down to your icon and just double click that and sit back. It's going to take a second to open up. Remember, the program itself without any drawings in it is 3 gigabytes, alright? So it's going to take it a bit to load. Also notice up here where it says initializing and loading stuff, you can remove some of this stuff and like that one, SOLIDWORKS simulation, and it will load faster. You can do this via the add-ins when you drop down off of tools. All right, so here it is, comes up, opens up, and you get basically nothing. All right, so what's going on here? We're going to start something new. You can either do it here, you can go over to File, drop down New, or you can just go to this guy and click it, and it's going to say, hey, what do you want? This is the screen that's going to come up all the time, all right? And these are the 3 different things you can do in SOLIDWORKS. You can create a part, you can create an assembly, or you can create a 2D drawing. An item to note down here on this key that says Advanced, please make sure it says Advanced and not Beginner. Just click it and it'll toggle back and forth. This opens up some of the simulation stuff that we'll be doing later. Also notice the SOLIDWORKS tutorials are right here. You can click on those. And by the way, these are actually really good. There's a lot of bad tutorials out there in the world, but SOLIDWORKS prides themselves on some really nice ones. Now, when you open a new document, the part will always come up first because we make more parts than anything else. So once you see that, just come down here, click OK, give it a sec, and it's going to give you basically a blank canvas eventually. And there it is, a beautiful blank drawing, nothing going on. All right, so all sorts of fun stuff to play with here, and we'll actually eventually use everything up here, and this is going to get nice and full with all our stuff. There's also goodies up here, simulation and stuff, and we'll go through that as we progress through the course, but we're going to take baby steps right now. Remember, I hope that you remembered the SUMO acronym from the presentation, and that is set your units, select your material, and turn on your origin. So select your units. The easiest way to do that is to come right down here, click that arrow, and then you have your, basically you're going to click between imperial, inch, pound, second, and metric, millimeter, gram, second. We're going to use either one of those. Also, if you need to change the number of decimal places in your measurements, you can click Edit Document Properties, go up here and just say, hey, I want 3 decimal points of precision, and that's what you're going to get. You only have to do that in this one spot. It'll do it for the entire drawing. Then just click OK, and it's good to go. So my units are good. I want to set my material. Material's over here in the Feature Manager side, right? Material's not specified. If I hover over it and I right-click it, and then I go and click on Edit Material, the Edit Material screen pops up. Now we're going to use just plain old alloy steel here because that's nice and easy, and it's right there. Here's all the really fascinating math that goes along with that, the properties. This is where if you have a custom metal or something that you're working with, you can put your own information in here. But we're just going to work with what's in SOLIDWORKS. So we click Apply, we click Close, and notice right here that our material went from not specified to alloy steel. Lovely. All right, set units, done. Set material, done. Let's take a look at our origin. Now, I always turn the origin on whenever I work. It's right here, okay? So it's under the eyeball. Click that, drop down. If I want to turn it off, it goes away. I want to turn it back on. There it is. So I'm ready to start a drawing at this point in time. Now, in the presentation, they did a 0.125 square, 3-inch long rectangular bar. We're going to do the same thing, and I'm going to draw it for you 2 different ways to see the difference between extrusions. The first one, it says, let's start with the top plane. If I go over here, it'll show you the 3 default frames, front, top, and right. It said, let's use the top plane. So if I hover over that and I right-click it, and I go up to this little dude right here, it says Sketch, it takes me right into sketch mode. So right now I'm ready to sketch. All of my tools up here in the dynamic toolbar are active, right? So I want to draw a rectangle to start with. I tend to use center rectangles because I like to model about the origin. So I select that, I click on the origin, I drag it out, and I go, hey, that looks pretty good. And then SOLIDWORKS says, hey, do you love your rectangle? Right here. And I say, yes, I love my rectangle. And I click on that, and there it is, happy, happy. But hey, it's not happy, right? Because it's blue. That's kind of funny. It's blue. All right. What that means is blue lines, if you look down here, Blue means it's underdefined, and this is a bad thing in SolidWorks land. All right, this is literally the very first thing I look at when I grade your work. If this says underdefined, bam, points just go off right off the bat. All right, why is it underdefined? We have a nice rectangle, yes, but we haven't. Look what happens if I grab one of these guys. Whoops. If I grab a corner and go, hey, all right, I haven't dimensioned it. Okay, so that's why it's underdefined. So let's add some dimensions. Okay, how are we going to do this? There's one way. Go up here and click Smart Dimension. I'm a huge fan of mouse gestures. Mouse gesture, you just hold your mouse down and click up, and bam, see how fast I was? That indicator right there is the Smart Dimension tool. Do it in slow motion, right click, move up, and there are the different things I can pick. All right, I can make a circle, and notice my cursor changed to a circle. I can do a straight line, goes to a straight line. I can do a rectangle, hey, it goes to a rectangle. Or if I go straight up, it takes me into Smart Dimension mode. Now, dimensions are really easy here. All I have to do is click on something. Hey, let's dimension this. I click on it, I drop it down. Notice that as I move this back and forth, it positions where I want my number. So I generally want it centered. I like the looks of that. I click it again, and up comes this box. This is highlighted, right? Now I want this to be 3 inches. All I have to do is press 3 and enter, and bam, it's 3 inches, just like that. I'm still underdefined. Why? Oh yeah, I haven't defined this one yet, right? So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to select that line, pull it out, take my measurement up here, click it, and that's 0.125. I click this. Hey, look what happened down here. It's fully defined now, and everything turned black. It's not blue anymore. It's not sad. This is a very happy drawing. So do I love my dimensions? Yes, I do. So there's a 2D of the bar, right? If I hit Control and 7, it'll take me into excuse me, isometric mode, right? And I can see what I've got there. So what I want to do now is extrude this part up. So I go over to Features, I click on Features, I hit Extruded Boss Base, and notice down here this guy is highlighted, and if I type in 0.125 and hit Return, I have my extrusion, and if I pick the little green arrow, it says, ta-da! There it is, a beautiful rectangle, right? That's one way to make this thing. Now, speaking of mouse thingies, there's all sorts of fun things you can do. The wheel will zoom in and out, but notice this, it zooms in and out relative to the cursor position. All right? If I move my cursor up here, it zooms in and out there. You with me? That's kind of fun, right? So you can play with that. If you hit the F key at any time, it will always fit your drawing to the screen. Now, I can hold my mouse down and go, wee! This is actually really useful when you're doing mates and assemblies and you want to move a part around, right? And if I get to that point and go, oh, I don't like that, Control 7, bam, back into ISO, right? So there's lots of really nifty things you can do. Part of the problem with SolidWorks is there are so many shortcuts. Mouse key clicks, mouse gestures, shortcut keys, combinations of both. And if you watch somebody that's been working in SolidWorks for a long time, they're going to use a lot of mouse gestures, and you're going to see these little flashes of a mousy screen thing pop up, and it's going to almost start to look like it's magic. But it really isn't. That's just someone that really knows what they're doing. All right? So there's one way to do the rectangle. I'm going to pitch that because I want to show you a different way. And I'm going to start over again. And yes, I want a part. And again, I'm going to set my units, still IPS. Love it. I want to make it 3 decimal points. So I select that guy. Excuse me. I'm going to set my material. Again, right click on that. Edit material. Alloy steel. No, that alloy steel. Yes, apply, close. And what did it do? Yes, it immediately went there. What's the last thing to do? Turn on that origin. Right, there it is. Okay, so last time I started on the top plane. This time I'm going to do the right plane. So I hover over right plane, I right click it, I say sketch. It says, yay, let's go. Right, so I'm going to pick a center rectangle again. It's already highlighted. And now I'm drawing the end of it. And I'm going to intentionally make this kind of lopsided. Okay, so the select key will always take you out of that mode. So there's a rectangle. I sort of love it, but I don't because it's supposed to be a square, right? So, how can I fix that? Well, this box up here, display, delete, and add relations, it's a lot of fun. I can click add relation. And if I select one side, and I select the other side, and I say, hey, I want those to be equal. Ta-da! There you go. Do I love that relation? Yes, I do. So now I have a perfect square. Yet, boo-hoo, notice down here, it's still underdefined. Why is it underdefined? That's why it's underdefined. And this is one of the things you can do when you're working with SOLIDWORKS. If something says it's underdefined, grab it and try and move it. And if you can move it, you'll figure out what's not locked in place. And what's not locked in place here? Well, it's the dimensions. All right. So how do we do that again? Straight up with your mouse gesture, bammo. I'm in smart dimension mode. I say I want this to be 0.125. I click yes, and I am instantly fully defined. Why? Because my relation says those two are equal, and so it makes both sides equal. I have a fully defined sketch. I love my dimension. I'm going to add an extrusion. I'm going to put it in 3D for you, Control 7. There you go. And this time, I'm going to go down there and say, I want that to be 3 inches long. Ooh, I'd like it to go the other way. Notice there's a direction arrow here. I can change that, extrudes it the other way. Can't really see what's going on. Hey, let's hit the old F key. There we go, back on screen. Do I love my boss extrude? Yes, I do. And there it is. Hey, guess what? That's the same thing we just drew. It's different though, right? Because I drew it down here and extruded it that way. The first one, I drew this and extruded that way. So, again, I like to think of math and SOLIDWORKS a little bit the same way. When you look at a math equation, particularly when you get into calculus and engineering land, you're going to find out there are a zillion ways to solve any given problem. All right. What's the best solution? Usually it's the most elegant one, right? In computer programming, we always say, you know, the shortest code that does the same thing is the best one. Because why? Because it runs faster. So in the world of SOLIDWORKS, the best drawings are the ones that are modeled the quickest, assuming the geometry is the same for all these guys. All right. So one of the things I wanted to show you else that's really important in this chapter, and that is when you do a 2D drawing or you do an assembly, all right, you have to use the Pack and Go feature. It's under File. It's right here. All right. When you click on that, it's going to come up. Now notice I've only got one part here. I don't need it in this thing. I don't need to use Pack and Go for a drawing because it's a single document. But when I have an assembly, I have multiple parts. And what Pack and Go does basically is it takes all your part drawings and puts that and your assembly drawing in a little suitcase. Right? And then you send that to somebody, and gosh, guess what? They've got all this stuff. They can unpack your suitcase and they can see everything. The one thing to remember is down here, you want to click Save to Zip File, right? And then save it to your hard drive under the naming convention that we use, EGR 180, your last name, the assignment name, etc. But you got to use Pack and Go. If you send me an assembly or a 2D drawing that is not done in Pack and Go, I will not be able to open it. If I can't open it, I can't grade it, and that's kind of a big boo-hoo for you. All right, so that's about it for this demonstration. Again, feature manager guy over here, dynamic toolbar up here. We'll get to use all, look at all these fun things, man. Look at all those tools. Each, yeah, first you look at this and you go, oh my goodness, that's overwhelming. You look at sketch tools and it's just as many, and there's, yeah, each one of these lines has just a whole bunch of fun stuff in it. But again, baby steps right now. You will learn to use most of these. They're just incredibly powerful. I hope you really enjoy the SOLIDWORKS environment. And if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to email me, and I look forward to your progression as we move through the course. Thanks for watching.